Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. We're moving on to the Subclass series today in the Xanather's Guide to Everything, and we are up to the Cavalier Fighter.
Right.
It's a really cool one, I think.
Yes.
If you're new to the channel or to the Subclass series in general, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the subclass abilities, and then we're going to rate the roleplay value, the combat value, and the overall class synergy based on how the abilities gained in this subclass improve those categories. So, without any further ado, we're going to jump straight into it.
Right. So level 3, you get 3 total items, starting off hot and heavy for this Cavalier as far as subclass abilities. First of all, it's an extra proficiency. You get a choice of a skill, either animal handling, history, insight, performance, or persuasion, or the choice of an additional language. So interesting that you get the option of either or. Most times you either get one or the other.
Right.
So nice couple of choices there. You also get born to the saddle, which you have advantage on saving throws of being knocked off your mount as far as that goes. And if you do fall off your mount and descend no more than 10 feet, so long as you're not flying, or trying to jump some gap and get knocked over like mid across the canyon, very niche use there. You can land on your feet as long as you're not, unconscious. You don't get crit in the side of the head and you knocked out. You can't really do anything about it. But normally when you get knocked off your mount, you're knocked prone. So in this, you're still allowed to land on your feet either way. And if you choose to mount or dismount on your turn, it only takes 5 feet of your movement instead of half of it. So it lets you, use more of your movement, be more mobile, which really benefits this subclass tremendously.
Yes, definitely. Then at level 3, also, we have the Unwavering Mark. Now, this is kind of complex. I'll put up a thing on the screen, and also I will read through it. Okay, so when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can mark the creature until the end of your next turn. The effect ends early if you're incapacitated or you die or someone else marks the creature. While it is within 5 feet of you while it's marked, a creature marked has disadvantage on any attack roll that does not target you.
Right.
So if it attacks your mount or an ally that's right beside you for whatever reason, if you have a rogue or something like that. In addition, if a creature marked by you deals damage to anyone other than you, you can make a special melee weapon attack against the marked creature as a bonus action on your turn. You have advantage on the attack roll. And if it hits, the attack's weapon deals extra damage to the target equal to half of your fighter level. Regardless of the number of creatures you mark, you can make the special attack a number of times equal to your strength modifier, minimum of once, as usual. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So essentially, you hit something, you mark it. If it tries to attack something other than you, that's within 5 feet of you, you can give it disadvantage on the attack roll. And you can also attack it back using a bonus action if it deals damage to the target, even though it had disadvantage.
Right.
So it's like, you're not going to hit this thing, and if you do, I'm going to hit you back, basically. So don't touch my friends.
Retribution.
Yes.
That's right. As you can tell, some of these abilities are more wordy, so we'll definitely putting these up on the screen and have to do more direct reading than we usually like to do.
We don't want to miss anything with the details on here.
Yep. So at level 7, you get Warding Maneuver. If you or creature you can see within 5 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can roll a d8 as a reaction. If you're wielding a melee weapon or a shield, roll the die and add the number rolled to the target's AC against that attack. If the attack still hits, the target has resistance against the attack's damage. You can use a feature equal to times number to your Constitution modifier and get all of them back when you, at the end of the day, when you finish a long rest. So essentially, you get like a wizard's version of the shield spell, but instead of just being a +5, it's a d8. It's basically standing next to you, and you get to do it, up to 4 or 5 times a day, depending on how high your Constitution modifier gets at one point. But still, just the fact that you can just stand next to somebody and as a reaction be like, "Oh, we're gonna up your AC." But even if they do still come through the AC, you get that extra resistance. So. That works against, it says just you and next to the person you're trying to protect. So it could be a wizard spell attack, sorcerer spell attack from across the battlefield. Could be an archer's shot coming across, and you still get to give them the extra AC. And if they still hit, taking half damage from that attack can still help out tremendously.
Definitely. And the thing, too, with a lot of these abilities is you're always going to, assuming you're going to be Cavalier Fighter, you're probably going to be having a mount majority of the time.
Right. Especially as long as you're outdoors, pretty much. I figure
you're going to want to try to keep that mount alive as much as possible. Obviously, that's going to be probably the hardest part about being this. Other than that, you're going to have a lot of strengths.
Yep. Also at level 10, you get Hold the Line. So creatures provoke opportunity attacks from you when they move 5 feet or more while within your reach. And if you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the target speed is reduced to 0 until the end of the current turn. Right. So normally with opportunity attacks, if they're within your reach and they move away, you get the opportunity attack as a reaction. Right. Now you get the additional chance if they just try to circle around you, even because normally you can do that in most circumstances and not get that opportunity attack against you.
Right.
Now, if they even try to circle around you to get to somebody else on your backside, you can then just try to pop them there. And if you hit them, their speed is reduced to 0.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to run from you either way, or they're trying to circle around you, you can just hold things in place. Right. So, do a really good job of holding the line.
Yeah, and especially efficient if you have a weapon with reach, because that 10-foot reach, it's going to be all around. So if they move anywhere within that 10-foot radius around you, they're going to get a chance to pop them.
Absolutely.
Level 15, you get Ferocious Charger. You can run down your foes, whether you're mounted or not. So if you move at least 10 feet in a straight line before attacking a creature, and you hit it with the attack, the creature must succeed a strength saving throw, which is DC 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength mod, or be knocked prone. You can use this feature only once on each of your turns. So you can use as much as you want, just once per turn. Yep. But with the fighter, and you're getting all these attacks, knocking things prone, it's always good. Then lastly, level 18, you have Vigilant Defender. In combat, you get a special reaction that you can take once on every creature's turn, except your turn, okay? Use this special reaction only to make an opportunity attack, and you can't use it on the same turn that you take your normal reaction. So you get basically an extra reaction, but you basically just can't do 2 reactions in the same turn.
Right.
So, because it says you can't use your normal reaction and this special reaction on the same turn. Right. So you could do one on an ally's turn, and then ally.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
With that being said, over to the RP side, where we start our scoring format out of our 5 possible flumps, starting with the role-playing side.
Yes, and just a quick reminder, I've been doing this every time now. The way we're scoring the roleplay value, we're already assuming you're RPing your background, your class history, your class fantasy, your subclass, feeling, your emotions, everything related to all that backstory. Yes. We're already assuming you're doing that, so our RP score is not related to that. The RP score is looking solely at how these abilities gained in this subclass help you interact with the world around you. So interacting with NPCs, or engaging in the world, or non-combat encounters, or avoiding combat, things like that are what we're looking at. And with this subclass, the only RP thing that's going to add onto the things that you're already going to be doing as a player is going to be the bonus proficiencies, where maybe you pick up an extra language, or you get their skill proficiency in history or something like that. Could add to some RP value outside of what you're going to be doing already. But other than that, everything else is very deep in combat, so we couldn't score it very well on the RP side. But again, you do your backstory, whatever, that's great. Mechanically, 1.5 out of 5 is what we decided for the RP value on this.
I mean, there's just not much there. It's all there is to it, simply.
Just one ability.
Right. On the combat side of things, usually how these things go, if it's really bad on one, it's really good in the other.
Right. And
that is exactly how this goes. We've been way past due for a very high score, I think, in the combat side of things. And this one, we didn't take a lot of conversating time to figure out we wanted to give this sucker a 5.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Because you get to do a lot of very interesting things that a lot of martial classes don't get to do, whereas holding things in place is usually takes some kind of a spell from a caster to reduce movement speed or 0 or feats and things like that. Just part of your subclass, you get not only a regular opportunity attack, you get to do it either if they move within your range or if they move away from your range. You have 2 different chances.
Right.
And if you hit them with opportunity attacks, they just get to sit there and not move any further from where they're at. Yeah. You get a free extra opportunity attack every round. Yep. That you normally no one else gets a second opportunity attack per round, but you do. With this, the fact that you can get advantage all the time if you're mounted against things that aren't mounted. All the advantage attacks, and of course the final thing, which really kind of put this through the roof, and we started doing crunching some numbers. Of course, the ferocious charger, being able to knock something prone even when you're not mounted. The ability to knock something prone, get advantages for all your attacks.
It's huge.
You throw in the fact that fighters get more ability score improvements than any other class.
Right.
You have easy access to get 3, maybe even 4 feats. Mm-hmm. So you can pair a lot of good stuff together, like we talked about with Great Weapon Master, Sentinel, Mounted Combatant, because normally you wouldn't be interested in that. But with this subclass, it's right up your alley.
Definitely.
Maybe something like Polearm Master, if you really wanted to go a 4th one with it. That would allow you to absolutely assault individual targets. You pop your action surge, and you can do stuff like 8d10 plus 120 damage to a single target in one turn. And that plus 120 is a raw, just solid number.
That's assuming one action surge. If you do, we kind of mathed it out a little bit. If you take just a regular reach weapon like a halberd or something, you're getting a d10 just attack, and then you have Great Weapon Master. So we're assuming, and if you have Mounted Combatant, you have advantage on things that aren't mounted.
Right.
So you have advantage on all your attacks. You have 10-foot reach, and you hit 4 times normally.
Right.
So and you have advantage because again. And then you have Great Weapon Master, so you don't really care so much about the -5 because you have advantage.
Right.
So
Which
you're getting
mathematically,
+10.
they'll tell you that negates each
Assuming
other.
you have +5 strength, and then you have your +10 from Great Weapon Master, +15 per attack, so it's 1d10 plus 15 per attack.
Yeah.
You attack 4 times, you're doing 4d10 plus 60, assuming you hit every attack,
per
but you're
round.
getting advantage on
Per
every
turn,
attack. So you're going to be dealing out a lot of damage, and you have Action Surge, or a second Action Surge.
Yeah, once you get 17, you can do it
stuff
twice.
Up. It's incredible potential to just blow things up.
Yep.
And you have mount, so you can really move across the battlefield.
Yep.
And then if you can't reach it, you hop off your mount and you move for only 5 movement speed, and you run the rest of the way, and then you knock him prone with this, and then you just still get advantage anyway.
Right.
So very strong combat wise.
Yeah, no question. I talked about the idea if this is a subclass where if you see a sorcerer wizard just trying to hide way back in the back of the battlefield, it's like you know what? I'm going to blow everything I've got. I'm going to remove him from combat.
Right.
You absolutely can, and there's a good chance that you will with the amount of damage you can put down on a single turn with an action surge usage.
Yeah, who needs a party anyway, right?
Until you get whole person, and you're begging for a caster to help get you free or something like that.
So again, 5 out of 5 for this one, guys.
No
very
question.
strong.
No.
And then lastly, we have the overall class synergy. Also very strong. Big theme of the art fighter. The main things you're going around here are going to be your action surges, just getting extra attacks and everything, which is really getting doubled down on, with especially if you take feats that are related to this. You can really double down on a lot of those attacks. You have stuff like Indomitable, and if depending on what your fighting style is, if you take, protection or whatever, they're all decent. Obviously, you want to do your melee attack weapon stuff here, so those are going to be your Great Weapon Master or whatever, and those are going to be really good for you. And that being said, a lot of the stuff synergizes really well because all of these things are knocking things prone, giving you advantage, giving your friends resistances and all this stuff.
Yep.
You're just going to be a force to deal with on the battlefield. So we wanted a 4.5 out of 5 on the synergy just because there's so much going on, and Action Surge is huge. It's so massive, and being able to do all these extra opportunity attacks and stuff, the fighter's all about attacking, right?
Right.
Attack. You're getting extra reactions, extra bonus special attacks.
Yep.
What's a special attack?
What's a special attack?
Well, Cavalier Fighters know because they get one. That's not a reaction, not an action. It's just a special attack. It's great. So lots of stuff going on here. Very strong overall. RP is a little bit lower on that side, but that's what, you just make the character your own. Don't worry. So mechanically, RP is not that big a deal, right? Mechanically, RP is more of like nitpicky, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these lower scored RP classes doesn't mean they're bad at RPing.
No.
It just means you don't have as much utility in RPing as some other classes might gain.
That's what your group bard's for.
Right, exactly. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Very powerful class, probably one of the strongest mechanically in combat that we've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Let us know in the comments down below if you play as Cavalier Fighter or play with one. If you have any stories about being a small gnome or something, mounting on your barbarian's back, getting all these crazy things going on.
Yep. Gnome mounted on a centaur going to town.
Mounting other players, fantastic. You're really going to blow stuff up with this because you can give them, you're giving them bonus AC and all that stuff. It's crazy. Love
Shenanigans.
it. So lots of crazy things that can be done with this. Let us know in the comments down below, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow our new videos, when they come out. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.